3, 2, 1. We have liftoff.
Starship is the most powerful rocket system ever constructed. It's designed to take astronauts to the moon in 2026. Now, with only a 30-minute window today, the Super Heavy rocket booster, topped with the unmanned Starship spacecraft, lifted off from the company's starbase in Boca Chica, Texas. The test flight expected to go for about an hour, the vehicle splashing down in the Indian Ocean. Now, in a first, Super Heavy returned to base and did so in style. Love it. Sorry, I just love watching that. Mechazilla is those little pinchers that grabbed it as it returned to the tower. Pretty cool to see.
From space travel. And this has, it's neat from a SpaceX perspective, but it's really important for NASA because this is part of the system that's supposed to put people back on the moon. And so that Super Heavy rocket coming back and getting captured by those chopsticks, that is a big step toward getting back on the moon. So this is very, very exciting in terms of what's been accomplished and also the renewed hope it gives for that trajectory into the future.
From what I've seen, I mean, I know it's early, obviously, but it looks like this whole test was a good one. It was quite successful.
Yeah, I mean, the devil's in the details, but sometimes when SpaceX has something go wrong, there's a giant explosion, and it's really hard to tell that something went wrong. And they've certainly, with these starships, had a couple of big explosions, and they call those rapid, unscheduled disassemblies. They've got a sense of humor about it. But that's part of the way that they test stuff, is they really push it to the limit. And they try to take many steps at once rather than baby steps, the way maybe NASA or the Soviet system would have done back in the day. And they can do that, and they do, and they don't have human lives at risk when they do those kinds of things. So today, there was every expectation that it would go well, but there was also the preparation that it might not. So there was no one anywhere near that thing when it did the chopstick maneuver. Likewise, when the ship came down and landed in the Indian Ocean, it was observed by a buoy, not by anybody on a ship standing nearby. They knew that there was a good chance of an explosion here. And so the fact that it didn't explode is great, and it pushed us on that trajectory forward towards putting people on top of those things.
Now, how important is this? I mean, it looks a bit gimmicky, but it's also very cool, these arms coming and grabbing it. What is so important about that?
Well, this rocket is so big that, I mean, it's when that thing's sitting on the launch pad ready to take off, it's like a 37-story building. I mean, it's huge. It's 400 feet tall. It's more than 100 meters tall. I mean, it is, I just can't put it into any other words. It's very, very big. And so if you imagine trying to land a building, I mean, buildings can barely handle an earthquake, never mind being picked up, flown around, and being landed again. And so the stresses on the structure of it, it has to be able to fly, it has to be able to withstand aerodynamic drag, but then it has to be able to support its own weight. And for engineering reasons, they've decided that this is a more sustainable way to grab that booster after it's flown with those chopsticks so that they can hold it in a way that reduces the risk of a catastrophic tipping or anything like that. Once they've got it, they know they've got it.
Okay, and now
it's going to the moon and bringing them back. I mean, we've got Artemis 2 is in the books, is ready to go. We've got a Canadian on that mission to go around the moon and come back. But we want to go back to the moon and we want to land there. And this is the technology that's supposed to make that happen. So this thing's supposed to be able to take off, land on the moon, and then take off from the moon and come back. Lots of baby steps before we get there, but today was a great leap in that direction.
All right, exciting to watch. Dan, thank you as always. Always a pleasure to chat with you.
Yeah, thank you so much.